Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. If you haven't had your comadre smash that subscribe button, go ahead and have her smash it right now. Back again for another interview to chop it up is the youngster that was with me at Centinela, right? So, hey, what's up, dude? How you doing?
Good, bro. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. So yeah, we were chopping it up recently, and we got to talking. You said you did some time at Centinela and at Calipat.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, as you know, man, I myself is from the Imperial Valley, man. You got Brawley, that's where I'm from. You got El Centro, Imperial, and Calexico. Did you ever happen to do time with anybody from Calexico?
Oh yeah. I got a couple people from Calexico, Brawley, and the Proyectos
Okay.
from Calexico, Calecia, whatever the how they got two cliques, the Chicali ones, but the main one I got to do time with was goes by Rascal
All
from
right.
Calexico.
Go ahead
He
and
was
touch on that.
well, when I met him, he was just a regular camarada. He ended up getting made at some point.
Right.
But he was just a regular camarada when I met him at Calipat, and he was already validated in Corcoran. And before he went to the Bay, but he was there, bro. I got to meet him. Older cat. He was cool. He was all right. Yeah, he was cool. Respectful.
You met him where at Calipat in the hole?
In the whole
And you said he had arrived from Corcoran?
from Corcoran. Yeah. So he was there at Calipat, and he ended up going off. Someone called him down for court, right? And he was told to do something to stay there to be able to get stuff to take back up there to Corcoran. So he tried to go into court. He ends up rushing some cop trying to headbutt him and stuff like that. And he did catch a case. He did pick up a case on that. So that's how I was able to meet him when he came back down for that case. And when he came back down, well, when I met him, he took off. Then he came back down. And when he was coming back down, they had shot word that he was already, one of the chosen ones, one of the
Yeah,
Coronado
yeah.
ones.
Right.
And he was there. He was there with me on the tier. He wouldn't stay there long because since he was one of the chosen few. They would move him quick, but we got to interact a lot because he was coming back and down and forth going to court. So he was. I thought he was cool, but some of the things he was doing wasn't all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Before we hop into that, what are some ways that you guys will interact, like fishing with the kites or hand sign language?
He was on my team. We were an H pod together
Okay.
in the ASU over there in Calipari. So he was an H pod. So he would be able to talk to us in the dog kettles.
Okay.
The whites and the morenos will stay in to give us the opportunity to chop it up with them. And around that time, that's how we would interact through kites.
Yeah. I didn't ever even realize that Calipat, you telling me it had a standalone ASU kind of like C6?
Exactly like C6, bro.
I never even realized that, bro, honestly. Unless I
Exactly
forgot.
like C6. No, exactly like C6, bro. They had the A5, which the A5 was the same
Right.
thing as A5 and Centinela, the overflow or whatever to that tick.
Yeah.
But it had the same thing,
So,
except over there wasn't called like C6. It was just ASU.
oh, okay, okay. Was it maybe behind like Charlie Yard, the same location?
The same, yeah, the exact same setup, bro.
Okay.
The exact same setup as it was. How it was behind Charlie Yard, like you said over there in Centinela. The exact same thing, bro.
Right. So here you go. You got somebody of importance bouncing back and forth between Corcoran State Prison, Shoe, more than likely, and
Yep.
down to Imperial County, Calipatria State Prison for out to court. Um, what when he would arrive, would that change the environment, the dynamics amongst the soldiers?
Oh hell yeah! That's everybody. You know how it is when the sergeant will be like sergeant walking. Everybody stands up straight, sucks in their tummy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody did all that, bro. It was funny to me it was funny because I'm like, man, I am who I am, though. I'm gonna be me. At least everybody in my pod will be themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They will be themselves, and but other people will be all excited. When we go to court, we were going to court at that time too, or we will go to law library. They'll be like whispering, like, "Hey, is R1 over there?" And la la la, and they're like, oh, like with that excitement in their eyes, that little gleam of like, oh shit,
Right.
you got something in the building.
So did you ever visually see him, or just audio heard him talking?
No, no, I'm telling you, we were on H ball together, bro. We would go to the group yard together. I
Okay.
mean, not the group yard, the dog kettles, and
Yeah.
I would see him. He was tall, older, light skinned, little brocha. I'll say he's about in his when I met him, he was probably about in his maybe late 40s, early 50s.
Sound about
You
right.
know,
Sound about right.
we would
Sound about
do.
right.
I'll say he was about maybe what 5'11", not like 6'1", maybe 200. I
Yeah.
seen the guy. Like I seen a Percy talk to him. He had a big sweet tooth.
For.
Candy, just candy, bro.
Okay.
Literally just
Okay.
sweets, like honey buns and shit like that.
All right.
He didn't fuck around with that other stuff, but he that was
Okay.
that was his little thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he would
Um.
go to the yard with us and chop it up, put us up on game pretty much.
Somebody. Here's a question that I'm interested in knowing. Somebody like that, do they lead the rutina on the yard? Or do they, let the other homie lead the count, the hard count?
No, no, you know what? Surprisingly, with him, bro, we just did 113 6 count burpees, which is just literally one burpee,
Okay.
and he would let the other person do it. But he was, everybody was going off of him. Like all the focus was on him, obviously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Right. Yeah. Ain't nobody trying to get ahead of him. Ain't nobody trying
Nah,
to
hell
show
no,
him up.
bro. So I give him that thought for his age. He was doing them at a good pace,
Right.
but nobody wanted to outshine. The rule: never outshine the master.
Oh fuck. That rule in general, people will see, will go get you a long way, man. I outshined my warden, motherfucker put a hit on me. All bad. All bad. But yeah, man. So he touches down. He's putting you up on game. He seems to be personable. You said like sociable.
He was social. He was sociable to everybody, bro. But if he, like they say, if he has something of you, and if you didn't go through all the way, or read that, bro, that fool, he would be like pretty much your worst enemy, bro.
Fuck.
You know what I'm saying?
I can see that. I can see that.
He would, for example, he would ask somebody to do something, and that person didn't know. The people didn't know, who they were doing it for exactly. So they will be like, man, we don't want to do that. And there'll be something stupid like, Jay, just start a little fight so you guys can go back to A5. You know what I mean? And the guys be like, "Fool, hell no, we'd rather stab somebody." You know what I mean? Like, not knowing that it was coming directly from him. So he would put them on timeout pretty much. They they wouldn't be acknowledged. I mean, we couldn't give them store. We couldn't talk to them, but they still had to go out to work out. They still had to answer Gallo. But other than that, they were on the shine.
That's interesting, man. So what would be a reason that they wouldn't suspect something like that was coming from somebody like that? Like they just thought it was another homie saying, "Hey, you do this?" We,
No, no, it was the homie who had the oil. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He had the oil, and he would. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But at that time, nobody knew that he was. Only a handful of us knew that he had been
Oh,
chosen. You know what I mean?
oh. I hear what you're saying now. My bad.
But either
Yeah,
way, those guys were in the wrong, bro. Because if we're all in the hole and we're all at that level, level 4,
that's orders from
you
the
you know,
back.
yeah, you know what you're supposed to do, homie.
Right,
And you know what I mean?
right.
Don't ask questions. That's the main thing, bro. You never ask questions. You just do as you're told, and then fuck it. Whatever happens afterwards, it's not your concern.
Now when
It
those
sounds
dudes,
dumb, bro. But
no, it doesn't sound dumb at all. I get it, man. When the orders come from the
you
back, hey, handle your business.
you will be what they call it, unsubordinate.
Right.
So it was like that, bro. And when he got there, as a matter of fact, bro, when he got there, and he's we found out or whatever that he got chosen.
Uh
He
huh.
That was when we first started doing the food hunger strikes. in
Two.
2009.
Okay,
That
that
was the
was
first. That was before the big ones, before everybody, bro.
right, right.
You know, and we started doing it by first. It was supposed to be just hold your tray, you know, and then the second one was nobody accept the tray. But here's the funny part: half of the fucking the half of the ASU on my side, which would be G, H, F, E, would do it, and you had A, B, C, and D all accepting their trays and giving up their trays. You know what I mean? Oh man, I wish I had my write up still for that. I have it somewhere, but
That
we got all written up for that.
that is not uncommon. That is not news to me. You know what I mean? I've heard that from other individuals. Um,
You know, that's when I had first really started, bro. That's when they had already come into agreement with the guys from up north or whatever.
right.
It just that people weren't getting the filters, you know.
So, for the viewers out there, there was a major, major, major hunger strike that changed the way the California prison system operates. Right, for a while they isolated these heavy influential inmates in certain areas, and the hunger strike worked. It worked, so they let them out. But before the major one, he's talking about one that transpired in 2009. Which would you consider like a test run, or like was that
From
one
what
trying to gain? Yeah, from your perspective.
from my understanding, bro, it was supposed to be a statewide one,
Yeah.
and that was yeah. You know what? I would call it a test run, bro. They wanted to see what the reaction was going to be from the CDC, you know.
Um, I'm really. Let me see. I'm really glad they chose the hunger strike, man, as opposed to the other, options that they do have. I mean, you know what I mean? They got other options to get their
Oh
point
yeah, no,
across.
no, and see, and that was a big thing, bro. That was his main one of his main things that he was pushing out on people was that even here goes a funny thing, bro. He had assaulted a cop, but he was like, "Don't disrespect the cops and don't put your hands on them." That's what we're not trying to do right now, you know. And
Right.
I say that because we had a one individual that was on the tier with us, and he had disrespected some female CO, but she was hella cool with us, bro. She would do, you know what I mean? And over there in Centinela, I mean, in Calipat, they wouldn't pass shit. They wouldn't like, but this lady would always pass stuff for us. Real kind, Holmes. You know, real humble, real kind. And one of our guys got drunk and threw a bag at her,
Fuck.
a wet paper bag from the lunches, and like, she's like, I wouldn't say we had compromised her, we had knocked her, but she was a sympathizer for us. In other words, and she would do stuff for us, and that person was his little homie, like his right hand little homie from San Diego, from Sherman, you know.
Yeah.
And oh man, it went all bad for old boy. You know, he went all bad in the cell from he got sliced up and all types of other shit. You know, but that was like his main thing was, and that's what they were trying to push for. Like no more. Uh, I guess they were setting the pace, setting the tone for the big one to come, which is the hunger strikes in a peaceful manner. You know.
Yeah, dude. So that was a pivoting point, man, because like you said, while staff assaults were still happening up and down the state, I mean, you know what I mean, shit's gonna pop off spontaneously. Uh
Oh yeah, that's prison though, bro. That's the
exactly.
nature of prison.
Right, but this is what they were trying to do. This is what they were trying to accomplish. And in hindsight, it worked. It fucking worked.
They went about it the right way, bro. You know,
Yeah.
if you would have asked me this and told me this back then, I would have been like, "You're fucking crazy. I ain't never gonna
Right.
let you guys off on a fucking hunger strike. What the fuck are we, Mandela?
Right.
Like,
No, I hear you.
you know, we're like, this ain't gonna work for us." But hey, if it was able to free Mandela, you know what I mean?
For sure.
It was able to work for them, and it worked, bro. But that was his whole trip. Just like try not to. If we could avoid anything with them, try not to. Try to befriend them, you know? Because believe it or not, he came with a lot of good intel from CDC, bro.
He came with a lot of
Coming up
good
with the
intel from CDC.
Yeah, with the memorandums that you guys would put out and shit.
And he had him
As
in
far
like
as
right there in his legal work.
and it's legal work, bro, black and white. That's what tripped me out the most. Was like, oh shit, like. But then again, in hindsight, it gets you to wonder, well, how the fuck did you get that, bro? ¿Sí me
Well,
entiendes?
I hear you, but I mean, he could have had a good sergeant or a good lieutenant that wasn't tripping. I mean, it's not like it's a secret. It's not like you guys cannot have those memorandums. They're just shot out to the public sometimes.
Yeah, but to the public, but never to an inmate, never to an inmate at that position or that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
And then one of the ones that he had, bro, was how to break us up, how to break up our commodity,
Was that a
put
CDCR
limits.
document or
Yep, CDCDR document, bro. Coming from whoever the main honcho was at that time from Sacramento. Papi, hold on. Talking about how to break us up in the shoes and how to, when we're getting validated. Okay, if we validate all these guys, they're not gonna want. Some of them are gonna drop out. That's all they have is their families. Some of them have stores. Some of them are gonna be relinquent or not to share their store, not to be, you know what I mean? And that's when the limits came in, how many you can have, what you can have, downsizing us and trying to break us up, take us away from the group yards into the dog kettles. United we stand, divided we fall. So if you put us in certain sections, that's when they started doing like the short corridor. Like
right?
I'm telling you, bro, we would only see people on our tiers. That was it. You go to medical people on your tier, you go to the law library people on your tier. That was it. So they were trying to cut all that off, all the communication, all that. You know what I mean?
You're right, dude. You're right. I can see that now. I'm not gonna call it psychological warfare, but in a kind of way, it is, man.
It
It's like
was, bro.
it's like the art of war.
You know, being right there, because look, trip out on this. We weren't in the shoe or nothing, bro. In the shoe, they screen your letters before they go. They photocopy them shit. You know that, bro. They photocopy anybody's letter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And right there, it was like they did the same thing to us, bro. They read our mail before we got it. And some of us, I was never validated. I wasn't validated, but a lot of people on my tier were validated. You know what I'm saying? But it was just like, you guys are doing all this because you guys know that this guy comes and he lands over here with us. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you guys are treating us that way. Like if we're already validated pretty much, which half of my tier was, you know what I'm saying? Half of my tier was validated and the rest
Right.
weren't. But they all knew that we were. They pretty much knew we were heading that way at some point or another. It was just a matter of time. But once again, it goes to show that you guys are already trying to break us before we even get up there. ¿Sí me entiendes?
Yeah. So
Trying to tell us.
for the viewers out there talking about getting validated, all right, the way that back then an inmate would get validated as somebody who has ties with somebody of power or them themselves are influential to a certain degree, right? Not to the top of the degree. Um, Things that can be used are letters from one person to another, drawings, certain drawings, artwork. Is that how a lot of your homies got gaffled up?
Bro, that's how I got one of my points was this freaking, you know what I mean, a freaking drawing, bro. And it was just a regular drawing that someone did, but just because it had cultura on it.
Uh huh.
And at some point or another, the people that had signed my letter, my card, had got validated. So that was a funny thing too, bro, because that's how people get validated. If my celly, for example, my celly was little John John, and John John got validated 2 years ago, and I had a picture with them from the yard, that was an automatic point for me, just because he was my celly.
Right. You know, they
You
changed
know,
that whole system up, man. They kind of watered it down.
because they were validating everybody back then, bro. For
Yeah, they changed it up.
like shit, bro.
Right.
They were just trying to put us in those. They were trying to bury us alive, bro.
I know, man. There was. I remember I remember some youngster at Centinela. Right. I remember his name. I remember his AKA, and that dude was putting in a shitload of work, man. That dude was just thinking his lucky stars he would get validated and shipped off to the Bay. I think he did. Yeah, I think he did.
You know, that's a como te digo. That's a lot of people's their goal at the time, bro. But you think about it, dog. You're getting put on a shelf, homie.
Oh, fuck yeah,
That
man.
was never mine. Like I was like, fuck it. If at some point it's gonna happen, but let it come. I'm not gonna be raising my hand trying to,
Right.
send me up there. Like nah, bro. Because once you get up there, the dynamics change, bro. You're stepping into a whole new realm that at least I wasn't accustomed to,
Right.
and even
So.
just being around him put me at another level. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
As
man.
far as my involvement in the game, it put me up another notch to where now we're playing for keeps for real.
Right.
¿Entiendes?
Yeah.
We're playing for keeps for real, bro.
Did did he tell you he was at that level, or you just heard he was at that level?
He was so at that time when we first started meeting him or he was coming down, that was when old boy from had had been stripped.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck. Also,
Yeah.
old boy had been stripped at that time, and
Um. Yeah.
yeah, I didn't mean, I mean, but it's nothing new, bro.
No, I had many conversations with that guy, man. Many, many,
It,
many, many conversations with him.
it's out there. He had
Right.
been
Right. Right.
stripped, and they were telling us that he was telling us that he's no longer, you know what I mean, that he's
Yeah.
done and la la la. And when boom, somebody tells you that, it's got to come from a source that's you got to hear it from the horse's mouth. You know what I mean? If it's not in that person's writing, you kind of like take it for
Right.
like whatever. But he was like, hey, that's it, he's done, la la la. And, so that at that time, that's when that other dude too. He was telling us that, oh boy, everything that he had coming was going to.
Yeah.
So, but we had our. I mean, me personally, I was already getting letters saying that don't be surprised if there's one of the Coronado ones right there next to you.
Oh fuck. Um.
You know, and it
Yeah.
wasn't much to guess, bro. Like, who's coming down from over there?
Right.
And
So
like I
that.
think, and like I had mentioned to you, old boy was a setting for a long time.
Yeah.
The little short guy from South Los, the squeaky
Right. Right.
voice.
Right. 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 So in essence, what you have is somebody from celled up with this guy from Calecia. They're cellmates. Hey, from one hands down the power, comes down to Calipat, right? That's when you meet the dude.
Yes, sir. And
I'm tracking. I'm tracking. I want
he was
everybody else to track.
no, no, I hear you. I'm trying to be as
Mm-hmm.
describe it as best as I can for you. But
Right,
he was
right.
so finally he comes down and he was one of the chosen few. He was he had got in his bones or whatever. So like I said, the dynamics change right there because everybody's trying to be on them. Everybody, you know what I mean, is trying to be. And it's funny, bro, because there was a few people on the tour with me that had been down a long time ago. And they're like, man, every time he would come out walking, they'll be like, dun 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 dun. They'll be to his face, bro. I gotta give the homeboy props because he would do that shit to his face. He's walking by his son, he's doing that shit to him,
like mocking him or like praising him.
like mocking him, bro. Like, and that was I'm not gonna put the homie's name out there, but that was the homie's name for Carlsbad. He would do that, bro. Like, man, you know what I mean? Like this fool, he like whatever, you know what I mean?
Oh fuck.
So,
What?
hey, bro, I was like, holy shit. I'll be telling him, like, hey, but he was way older than me. That fool had, like, 40 years, like 30 years in already in the system, bro. So I was like, damn, like, all right, like, I mean, you've been at this longer than I have, bro, but that's one of the Coronado ones. So you might want to be careful. And be like, I don't give a, you know what I mean? That dude ain't nobody,
Did
you
that?
know?
Did I'm quite? I'm eager to know now, man, because I kind of like that personality where you can joke around like that at levels like that. Was that his demeanor, a jokester?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. He was a clown. He was a clown. That was my boy. But he was my twin. He looked like me, exactly like me, bro. That was my twin, just older. But he was doing it in a way like, hey, I don't that doesn't mean I gotta respect you, homie.
Oh fuck!
You know,
Le valió verga, man.
Hey, and hey, bro, he would do it like, oh, loud, like, I don't get, then we would get drunk, and then he'd be like, In other words, damn near, in so many words, say, man, fuck this dude on the tier,
well, 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 let's dive right into that, man. Uh, was that career short lived?
Oh, we both know it was, bro. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was because of the matter of fact. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy, bro. He was there with us too. It was a Moreno, right? Uh, that fool from Hoover. He killed some guy in Calipat, and he was in the hole for 10 years. And he ended up getting for that murder. He got 10 years. Then he got released.
Damn.
His case got overturned. I don't know if you ever heard about him.
No, not that homie.
Well, but even he would be like, hey, like telling us like, hey, you guys need to chill, like this motherfucker, you know what I mean? And he could be like, hey, yo, like he would be like, hey, scared to be like, hey, like gotta relax, bro. Like, you guys are really pushing it too much. This cat,
Oh,
but it was
when you guys were like laying it on heavy on the dude.
nah, I wouldn't. I
Well,
was
no, the
just
other
like, hey,
dude.
the other dude he was like leaning on heavy, bro. Every chance he got, he would make a remark to him, you know. And I give homeboy that, like he would be like, hey, like he'll brush it off, like whatever. Just look at him like whatever. You're a peon,
Right. Um.
you know. But oh boys, he didn't last that long, bro, because
Yeah.
some of the shit he was doing, like I, I didn't agree with it, bro.
Yeah.
'Cause, like I said, he was there telling us, sending wheelers and telling us to get certain things from the yards so he can take with them,
I I
and
think. Oh, go ahead.
he knew a lot of people, bro. But the main one that sticks out to me, bro, is it was these two brothers, bro, from Logan Heights, right? They were twins.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a whole like, como te diré, bro? It was a whole desmadre, dog. It was a can of worms, homie. Because it turns out. So let me just tell you this one. So he's telling these two guys because he knows them personally. He was on the yard with them before he, got validated and all that. And he's saying, these fools were bringing in dope. So he's saying them, hey, send this, how much is the bag? Well, the two twins from Logan Heights were doing it, bro.
Yeah.
They were doing what they were told. They were sending. Just the guy who was receiving it, who was the one in charge, was fucking it off, bro. So when he would come down from Corcoran and ask for it, that guy was only giving them not even a third of what he was asking for. He was just giving them crumbs.
That's all bad.
So he felt played. So homeboy kept hitting one of the brothers, kept getting one of the brothers hits, from A yard to B yard to C yard. And every time he would get hit, his brother would get involved because that's his carnal, his twins.
Right.
So he tells, so finally the guy comes down. These guys are in the ASU with us. They're in a G pod, and I never remember when he tells me to tell him, "Hey, bro, tell him that if he wants to get off, if he wants to be good with me, tell him to get his carnal."
Oh
I was like,
man.
what you mean get him? And he's like, and I even asked him like, what you mean get him, bro? Like just a calentada? And he's like, no, 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 to rock him to sleep, bro. I was just like, I even looked at him like, damn, bro, that's a little. Because I already knew what was going on, bro. But I'm not gonna open up my mouth. That means if I open up my mouth, I'm speaking up, and
Oh, you're
that's
fucked.
that's
Yeah, you're
yeah,
fucked when
that's
you do
putting
that.
me in the middle because I'm pretty much going along with the flow. So I'm pretty much,
Yeah.
justifying what this dude's doing. So, but that one stuck out to me the most. Like, damn, bro, like that's how you're gonna do, homeboy. After he took care of you, and he did all this for you for so long,
Well,
and that's what he's gonna get repaid back with.
two things I want to cover on that. One, tip for the listeners out there, man. If you somehow end up in prison, mind your own damn business. Do not speak up on anything, right? On behalf of anybody or on anything, man. Stay in your lane, because it is. He just said how it is, how it actually
You know,
is.
and you remember my last interview, bro, when I was telling you that at the end, like, hey, for these little kids that think that they're gonna come in and change,
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that one little kid
Oh,
who had a little, what I'm talking about,
rap
that little
career.
kid, bro, yeah, the little rap career boy. I felt, look, bro, when I see his hip on the little things, I feel sorry for him,
Right.
and I see his little kid in his videos, the way he was acting, it's like, and it goes back to what I was saying, you're gonna mind somebody, bro.
Gotcha.
You're not bigger than the program.
Yeah.
Hey.
I hear you.
You're not bigger than the program. You're gonna mind somebody, bro. You could be whoever you want to be out there, bro, in the streets. That's fine and dandy, bro. But when you come in, you're coming into their home, their house.
Yeah,
They
dude.
set the tone, bro. They set the rules, bro. Ain't nobody bigger than them, you know. And it's unfortunate what happened to him, bro. All
Yeah, for
'cause,
sure. It it
nobody
it,
put
it
him up
it's
on
un,
game, homie.
it's unfortunate, but it's not surprising. And I'm sure you can agree.
Oh, come on, bro. Como te digo, bro. That's what I keep trying to, como te diré, keep trying to send that message to these little kids, bro. Like, that's not a place you want to go, bro.
Right, right.
Because if for one, if you don't got that killer mentality, dog, you're not gonna make it. Two, you're gonna mind somebody, bro. You may not have to listen to your parents out here. You might not have to listen to your old lady, whatever, bro. And there, you're gonna listen to somebody because you're gonna listen to somebody por las buenas o malas, bro.
Right, right, right. Uh, I think some people in their head, especially the youngsters, think they have that killer mentality, think they have what it takes until it's go time, man.
And you know how many people do, bro, and how many don't?
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
very few, but that's why I tell you, you always see the same people in the hole. On the
I
teams, you
hear,
always,
and that's why I told you I always see the same people right there in the mix when there's a staff assault getting busy. You know what I mean? On green side, it's always the same
yeah, you
dudes.
know. Exactly, bro, and that's why I tell you, there's certain CEOs like I tell you, hey, man, my respects, homie, for them,
Yeah,
because they fools would they would be down with it too. Like we could do whatever,
yeah.
and they would never hesitate, bro.
Right,
You
right,
know,
right.
but he was just in that sense, bro. Like, and that's why I think this guy's career wasn't so long either. Rascals, what's his name? Suarez is fucking what's his something Suarez once I forgot his name. He had a P number or something like that.
Yeah,
But it was just like he was doing stuff like that, bro.
right.
You know,
No,
and
it's um I kept up on the dude, right? I kept up on him. Like I said, man, I knew the ins and the outs and the who's and the whats. I kept up on him. And yeah, that was exactly the way you described it, where he touched down right there, down south. And when he went back up, it's like, hey, that hug wasn't there for him back. You know what I mean?
well, he was already. They were already sending saying that he was when the full approval wasn't hadn't came back yet, bro.
Exactly.
So he was in. He just waited. He just needed to wait a little bit longer before opening his mouth.
How can I
But
put
he,
this?
see, me,
Uh,
you understand, bro?
oh, I
What I'm,
totally
what I,
fucking understand. I'm about to put it to the viewers right now in layman terms.
por favor.
It's like, hey, if I bought a car, right, and I'm gonna give a car to a homie and say, I'm gonna give you this, but don't tell nobody I'm gonna give it to you. And you go out and be like, hey, the homie just bought me a car. Be like, oh, fuck, man. You just fucked it
That's a
off
good
for
analogy.
yourself. Right? Like,
That's a good analogy, bro.
but more serious. Very more serious.
A lot more serious, bro. A lot more.
Yeah.
And then and then when he got back up there, he was doing the same thing, bro.
Yeah. You
You
know what?
know,
Hey, bro, that fucking reminds me. Did an interview when I thought I had promoted a sergeant. I was telling everybody I promoted a sergeant. No, I didn't get picked up, bro. I was just out there. Fucking, hey, I was at Sizzlers, homie, buying out, but getting extra watermelon at the Sizzler.
I just
Man,
got that rose.
I got ahead of myself, man.